Wait. Okay. Hello. So we have George and James from CSV. So we'll get started with the CSV review for issues and PRs and see where we are today. I'll share my screen. So we've been working in some of these issues and discussing internally the other days. We were reviewing this one about, this is the how we add additional packages that are needed by Terraform code, and we agreed that we were going to wait until we finish the upgrades track. So I just commented that and everything, it seems to be okay. We had some comments from Brett with some things to take into account when we do that, but I guess we can move this to prioritized, or it's not actually prioritized, but we want to do this, but after the upgrade track. So I just want to put it out of sight for now. Just going to, sorry, I have the Zoom controllers all over and I keep missing the tab. And then we worked on this one about including binaries beyond Terraform. There had been some discussion, but we agreed that the current syntax with the URL pointing to the binary works, and that's enough. Chatting had reassigned to Brett for him to take a look, but he disassigned himself and it has been already a week. So I guess we can safely close this. It's just so apart from that, there's nothing new. I'm just going to change the view and order by date of Alexa activity because the cars don't get sorted. Yeah, there are some things that are open for contribution or prioritize. Maybe we can take a look later to in next call to see what else we can tackle or during the week. We have some PRs still outstanding as well. I think this one is related to the feature request that we just prioritized about some other adding files that Terraform that we can use from Terraform. And we say we were going to wait until the upgrades track is done. So I'll just comment on this later and close it because this is not the path that we are taking. That doesn't sound good. Okay. Then we have support for Terraform 015 and lower. And there's an outstanding discussion here about like this issue. We commented with the upgrades work that we are doing, but then it got off track with talking about how to specify the dependencies and reproducible builds. So it's not really the same topic anymore. George, you had commented this is burial from November last year, and I think the discussion is still outstanding, but I'm just tempted to close this one. Because there hasn't been activity, and just message that if the dependency management is an issue, then please open another issue with this conversation. Do you remember anything about it, George?
I think it's okay to close this, but this is one of these things that is neither a bug nor a feature, if you like. It's one of those things that that software teams often struggle to happen, because you can't say, hey, this is definitely a bug, because it's just an unpleasant experience, and it's not enough of a feature for someone to get behind it. I see what Brett's getting at here. Like, if the experience could be better. I think as part of the piece of work we're doing to improve the developer experience, we're probably going to touch on this again, and we may actually implement this specific idea, which is that you know, it's painful to have to go around changing versions of things and making sure they're right. But yeah, as it's so old, like, it's not adding any value having it here.
Yeah.
So I'd close that too.
Could you comment on it and close it, being that you're the one with most context?
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
okay.
I'll do that.
Thank you. Great. And there's this very old pull request about changing the encrypted storage default for AWS Postgres. We didn't merge it at that point, and I'm guessing it could be a compatibility problem, like a breaking change. I don't know what would happen if we update an instance that already has been created with this plan.
I think you'd hope it would just work. Like, if it had been created with encrypted storage off, then it would just stay off. I think this is probably suffering from the fact that AWS isn't getting as much love right now as it should want, because there should be like an easy just merge it. But I'm like you, I'm worried, are there side effects? Am I going to take a day to go and work out whether there are side effects? And I haven't taken that day yet. But hopefully sometime this year we will, maybe even this side of summer. Like, I completely agree, it should be on by default. I don't think any of us are going to disagree with that. It's just a question of side effects.
Yeah. It's also probably true for all the other databases and all the other ISs in the CSV. So there's also a matter of consistency, if you like, of having one that is created with the encryption by default and others that might not be. Maybe we want to reconsider all.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So this pull request is just sitting there making noise. Should we just create a story and close the pull request or something like that?
I mean, you say it's creating noise. I think no one's, like, this repo is not very actively being worked on. And I think this exact pull request could probably be merged once the testing's done. Like, I mean,
okay.
It's up to you. I mean, I'm not looking at these on a regular basis. If you're finding that it's creating too much noise, fine, delete it. But it seems a little inefficient to delete this and create a story and then turn the story back into exactly this pull request, if we can avoid that. that's fine.
Yeah.
But if the cost of that is much lower than the noise it's creating, then fine.
Yeah. The only problem I think I have with this PR is that we don't have a story in our backlog either, because there was no integration at that point.
Create the story then, I guess.
Yeah. And I wonder if converting the pull request to draft and back in could trigger a story to be created.
You can try.
Okay, I'll try that, or create a story at least to track it and not forget about it. Cool. So that's all for CSV. And is there anything we want to discuss as part of this time? I was hoping, actually, I'm going to ping ServiceFabrik folks. Sorry. I'm going to be on holidays the next couple of weeks, so I won't be in for next call. We can either cancel it or someone can volunteer to run it. It's just going through the projects. It's 3 projects that are linked from here. We have in the Cloud Foundry, or we have the CSV one and the volume services one, and then we have another for ServiceFabrik, and OSPAP is being handled in another call for now. So there's no need to go through that unless someone turns in asking about OSPAP specifically. If someone wants to volunteer to run it, maybe can just have a 10-minute call to see if there's something new and something that needs attention. Otherwise, we can cancel that occurrence. Being that we are here, just the general information, I was hoping someone from Volume Services would join as well, because there's the need to cut release for CF deployments. There were some there are some problems that need fixing, and they are currently blocked on support for the Bionic stem cell in both the NFS and SMB volume services. They are actively working on this, so it should be unblocked pretty soon, but I wanted maybe to provide a more thorough update. Probably they're working on it, that's why they didn't join. And let's see. I think there was a time zone confusion on my side. So we will have Anu from ServiceFabrik joining in a few minutes, but you are welcome to stay so we can hear them as well.
Marcela, if we have a few minutes to spare, I'd like to chat generally about the Cloud Service Broker project, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
So the last time we spoke, we had some discussions about where the project was going and things like that. Has anything changed since then? This was like probably 3-4 weeks ago. And I promised to follow up with like a document about publishing something and setting like a baseline for CSP evangelism in general. So just following up on that, because there were, or I guess there still are some questions about what the project is going to look like long term and things like that. So I was just wondering if anything has changed.
Yeah, just for context to George and James, this is about how much publicity we're given to CSV, and if we want to change the direction it's going and people just create collaborating in the broker packs we're creating, or maybe given some other form of extensibility. We haven't touched base on that yet, so I don't think there's any changes. It's one of the things we have pending discussion on the extensibility of the broker itself.
Yeah, also by way of a little additional context, I don't think I've met James or George before. Hello to both of you. My name is Ram. I work directly with the Cloud Foundry Foundation. I'm officially the developer advocate for all of CFF projects. And so because cloud service brokers are also a project that is quote unquote owned and governed by the Cloud Foundry Foundation. One of the goals that I had was to try and build some information, something that is good for first-time consumption, something that is good for like evangelizing the technology itself. And so one of the conversations that I've been having with Marcella is about cloud service brokers, their overall positioning in the larger Cloud Foundry and in the larger cloud ecosystem in general and things like that. And so one of the things that we were talking about is general viability of the project, what sort of impact we imagine it will have, and where it is really being steered in general. So that was the context in which I asked her the question. Sorry, I should have given this information before, but forgive me for back.
Thank you, Ram. It's good to meet you.
Hi. Yeah. Hi, Masla. Hi, George. Hi, all. I just joined. Sorry for being late. I did not realize it was 4:30.
Yeah, I think there might have been at times some confusion on my side as well. Good, all the dayland savings time and all that kind of things happening. Maybe I messed it up. Sorry if that was the case.
So it's yeah.
So sorry, Ram, was your question answered? Do you want more information? Do you want to sync up afterwards?
Yeah, nah, I mean, I got like the basic answer, so that's fine. So I will send out that follow-up document that I promised, and maybe we can take it from there and sync off chain on this one. Thank you.
Okay. The other ask that I was having was, Anub, now that you join, at next meeting I will be off. So I was looking for volunteers to run this, or if not, no one wants to, if it's comfortable with, we can just cancel it. You mentioned that on your team there's going to be a lot of people on holidays. Maybe if no one can join, then it's just better to cancel, because even if someone from the community joins to ask questions, there will be no one here.
I'm afraid, yeah, my team also, most of us are on vacation for next 2 weeks.
Okay. So we can just cancel next occurrence then.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. Any updates on ServiceFabrik? You mentioned that you finished the critical fixes.
Yes, we were able to. So we were running white source scans, and we were able to fix some of the vulnerabilities that was reported. So we fixed most of the high ones. Mostly it was library upgrades. So we were having some old libraries, so there were some breaking changes. So we fixed. So there was some work for happening in that front. Now we could able to finished most of the high ones. Now I think we are in good shape there.
Okay, that's great. I wanted to discuss some of the issues. There's nothing new really, but just to continue the cleanup.
Yeah. I forgot. I did not respond to this one. So
Okay.
we were thinking of working on this. I think we can pick this by June sometime. We are planning. We can work on this, enhancing the logging part. So here we got a few proposals.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, the easiest one was logging. Logging the CRs. That we are planning to do it by June sometime. So I think we can take it up at that time. So I can add that here in the issues.
Great, and I will move it to prioritize. I think it's this one. Cool.
So it will only satisfy one part of the proposal, I think, but I think that's the only part we can do with our capacity. And then I will also keep a note that we are also open for contribution in this. If, I think if the reporter is interested.
Okay, that's great. So we can also add help wanted, but if you can comment which part
Okay.
we want help with, and that would be awesome. And then, yes, can we discuss this one? If you put a customer error message in the template, it is not returned by the broker.
Yes, something. Yeah, we need to check this. Yeah.
This is from all the issues that we have. Is the most recent one is still from December, so maybe it's current, and we would like to take a look at that, or at least reply.
We would like to take a look at this, but now I think it might take some more time for us to check this, but because some of us are on vacation, and maybe we have, for now, I am thinking how soon we can check this.
Okay, if we say that after this couple of weeks that you're on holiday, you can take a look at this. I mean, it's been sitting there since December. A couple of more weeks doesn't hurt. Just to review the issue and see if we can comment something and decide what to do with it. Okay. Not to actually fix it, but at least have a sense of what we are going to do with it.
Okay.
Does it sound good? I don't hear you quite convinced yet.
Yeah, it sounds good. Sounds good. So okay. I was thinking, what should I respond to ticket in my back of my mind.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at after the vacations then. It's assigned to you, so yeah, just check what you have assigned when you come back, and that's fine. And we'll sync up in the next meeting that is not in 2 weeks, but in a month's time.
Yes.
Or we can sync in via Slack. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that would be all. Does anyone have any other thing that they'd like to discuss? Yeah. Great. So have a great holiday, the ones that will go on holidays, and See you in a month. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Yeah.
Martha. Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thanks, Ryan.
Marcela. So happy